Hey folks, it's Maria Carroll with little things that are really big things. The blog that I never actually get to keep up with. I wanted to update you today though because today is the day. Today was the day. Tomorrow starts a whole chapter of what the hell in Maria's life. And I want to take you on the journey with me. Shh. Going on vacation. No, I wish. I went to see the bariatric surgeon today. You know, I've had a really hard year by depression, and I've struggled so bad. Every time I keep thinking, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna get back to where I was. I'm gonna get back to eating better. I'm gonna get back to giving two damns about myself. I'm gonna do something, you know, good for me. And I don't. I might have one good day, and then boop, I take. I haven't had the energy to keep up with my day to day, nonetheless. Huge lifestyle changes, right? Is that how that works? Apparently not. Just little changes that are going to make the big differences, you know, and I know this. I'm just really not good at little changes. I'm go big or go home. You know, when I quit drinking, I quit cold turkey. When I quit smoking, I pretty much quit, cold turkey. And then 2 months later, I started vaping. And now I've quit vaping. The past couple of months, it's like all of these things. It's like, okay, I could just put it down. I can put it down. But food, it's not that easy. I have to eat. If I could just never eat again and be, fine. But I have to eat. And if I have to eat, then I have to make decisions about what to eat. And during that decision making process is where I fall apart. I fall apart. See, for Maria, food equals dopamine. Dopamine is your happy drug. Brain. Actually, it's not just brain, but it's what gives you that reward fix. It's that satisfaction feeling. It's not just happy. It's the relief when you finally get that cigarette at the end of the day. You've been stuck in the office and not been able to get out, and you're usually a pack-a-day smoker. That kind of relief. Yep, that's courtesy of your good friend Dick. And the same thing, when I've been craving brownies for 3 days. Oh, Lord, hormones. And then I cave, and I stop at Kroger, and I get a pan of brownies. And I eat one. Yeah. That, the brownies face is brought to you by dopamine. And when you're as depressed and numb as I have been all year, sometimes it's the only happy feeling I'll have all day. And sometimes it kickstarts me so I can have others. And so it's really hard when you know, okay, I'm not supposed to eat these brownies. I know what it's doing to me. I know that this brownie, this pan of brownies, is going to, become extra this, and it's going to become extra, this. And I'm sitting down, but my poor booty is just going to get bigger. I'm just sitting here like, no, right, you're not supposed to eat the brownies. Rationally, I know this. But my numb, depressed mind is desperate. So I eat the brownie. But then today I didn't cancel. I just went. I know that I'm still dealing with depression. I know that I'm dealing with grief. I know that I'm dealing with my body falling apart. And I still went. Because when I lost weight last time, I felt so much better. And I don't know if it can give me that this time. Last time I was in a lot of physical. Maybe this will help give me my energy back. Maybe at least when I see that number at the end of the month when I weigh in, I can feel good about myself. Like I've accomplished something in this god awful year. But I didn't accomplish anything else today. That was good enough for me. I mean, afterwards I went to Chipotle and I realized as I started putting stuff into my app that a bag of chips at Chipotle is 570 calories. When you're working with 1750 a day, that's a no-no. So yeah, I was like, oh, whoops. Yeah. Now the bowl I ate them with is an appropriate amount of calories for me. I started eating it that way 3 years ago. Loved it and happened to come back. I can't do a lot of dairy because my taste dysfunction with my medicines. So I'm like, okay, no cheese, no sour cream. That fixes a lot of it right there for you, let me tell you. But I ate the chips and then asked myself why I ate the chips. And it was because of habit. And I was about to beat myself up a little bit already. And I was like, nope. It's like, the first week's going to be a learning experience. You're going to have these. But what's even worse is that I need to give up soda and sugar, processed sugar. And I've never been a soda person until like this past year or so. Like I go through little phases of it, like a month or so, like 4 to 6 weeks. I'll crave like a particular type of soda, like ginger ale is usually one of them. Root beer sometimes is one of them. Um, I don't usually crave like Coke, Pepsi. I like Coke, don't really like Pepsi. But my stomach can't really handle them anymore. So, and I haven't been able to do almost any coffee the past few months because my anxiety has been too sensitive to it. So, there hasn't been a lot of Starbucks either. I think I've gone like 4 times the past 2 months. But I have to give it all up. See, you're having the gastric sleeve, you don't have a stomach anymore. They cut it out. You just have a slip and slide. It goes after it goes through like your duodenum and stuff. You got a slip and slide directly into your intestines. It doesn't have much room like between here and here. Like there's nothing there to digest and process sugars. So like your body has to do a lot of chemical exchange when you eat a processed sugar to turn it into something useful or to store it as fat. So, you don't have a stomach, all of that processed sugar gets dumped directly into your intestines, which are not built to process processed sugar. It's not built to digest that. That's not what your intestines were built for. That's not how we were created, or however you want to put it. I wasn't made that way. None of us were. We weren't supposed to be having grape sun kiss, which isn't grape, it's purple. We're not supposed to be having it. We aren't. So I have to stop. Otherwise, I'll have something happen to me called dumping, which is where it just all gets sent directly into your intestines. Your intestines freaks out, and I'm dumbing this down, trust me. And you cramp and you sweat, and you're in a lot of horrible pain. And I've heard this from people in my life previously that have actually had this happen after their surgeries, and I'm like, that's gonna happen to me at least once until I learn my limits. It just is. And I'm like, okay, I have to stop. But it's not going to be today, because before I do this, before I stop, I want Oreos one more time. And I want grape soda one more time. And so I stopped with her, and I got my Oreos, which, let me tell you, Kroger's, I live in Cincinnati, they're everywhere. And, they have their ups and downs when it comes to ethics. But they're evil today because they had the family size packs of Oreos on sale. And it makes them cheaper than the regular size packs. And I am my father's daughter. And he was whispering in my soul, "Hey, Reed, you gotta get the family size pack, right? It's the better deal." And so they didn't have double stuffed Oreos in the family size pack, but they had the golden ones double stuffed in the family size pack, and so that's what came home with me. I was like, oh crap. So I open them up, I take 5 out, and I sit them next to my grape soda. And I'm sitting there like, okay, 5 grape soda. Seal the package. Putting one in my mouth. When I flip it over, by habit, instinct already starting to kick in again, which is nice. And I looked at the nutritional info. And I immediately told myself that I should not have looked at the nutritional info. Because it boils down to 75 calories a cookie. When you're working on a 1,750 calorie quota for the day, or max quota for the day, that's just not worth it, It's just not. And I was like, oh, man, as I ate another cookie. And I can't even begin to tell you, like, as I'm sitting there eating my cookies, feeling bad about my cookies, and what that meant to me. That meant to me to feel bad for eating these cookies. Because I was not taught what wellness and health are supposed to look like. I was not raised with that in the forefront of my mind. I was not taught that I really deserve that. And as an adult, I've been learning the hard way. And I've been trying really hard to learn it the right way the past few years. And when I tried to do the surgery last time, I stopped because I had a binge eating episode. Horrible 3-day weekend episode. And I had 30,000 plus calories. And afterwards I felt horrible about myself, which had never happened before. I had never responded that way. So as horrible as it was, I was like, I care. I've never cared before. I just hadn't. Before it wouldn't have mattered. Before I got angry and upset, and I ate a lot of food this weekend. That's all it was. And now it's, oh, what did I do to myself? Because it's, for me, like a version of self-harm. It's like, what am I doing? When I know what this is doing to me. I know what the consequences of this will be. Those consequences are in the future, but not in the now. My little thing that is a big thing tonight is that those little cookies coming back to me already and making me remember that I deserve to treat myself better. And that no, this year hasn't gone the way I wanted it to, and I'm still going to be depressed, and I'm still going to be, grieving, and I'm going to continue with this process because I'm worth it. I'm worth caring for. That especially goes by me. And if little bit by little bit I make improvements along the way, that's a really big deal. Because I'm only 37 and I don't want to die. And if that means no Oreos, no grape soda, then so be it. Because I am not a little thing. I have a big heart, a big mind, big plans for what happens next in my life. And I won't let myself or anybody else make me feel little ever again.